All right.
Let's do this. Take one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to History of Popcorn Movie Reviews with me, Sir Justin, sir, and another sir to my left
Elijah, sir.
is
That
Elijah,
is
sir.
Hello.
We're gonna be reviewing the newest Netflix animated comedy, one of the many releases that we were supposed to get in 2020 that we did not get, but we finally have it, and Elijah's gonna tell us about it.
It is Mitchell's vs. the Machines. Netflix's, not originally
Dun, dun,
Netflix's, but now
dun.
Netflix's Mitchell's vs. the Machines, which follows a young Katie Mitchell who embarks on a road trip with her proud parents, younger brother, and a beloved dog to start her first year of film school. But their plan to bond as a family soon gets interrupted when the world's electronic devices come to life and stage an uprising. And the Mitchells must now come together to save one another and the planet from the new technological revolution.
Yes. Who produced this movie?
This is the Lord and Miller.
Hell yeah. Our boys. Or if you guys listen to this podcast, if you guys have been following, then you know that every other episode we talk about our love for Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah, this could have been just a Phil Lord, Chris Miller podcast and talked about all the things they do
every
really day and just things we learned about it.
We can be the ones that try to get the footage that they shot for Solo, a Star Wars story.
Get the exclusive. They released the solo cut as a podcast. Hey, that'd be sweet.
Ooh, we get the exclusive clip of the original Solo Star Wars,
or even the original script just as a podcast. All the original cast comes back. They just do their own roles, just the script.
Oh damn! Elijah's pitching some shit.
That'd be really cool.
Come on, so, yeah, Howard, get the hell out of here.
This is all because all sparked from just those two guys are incredible, and this is one of their, what would you say, babies? Or I don't know.
I mean, like they haven't really directed since what was the last thing that they directed? I guess the last thing technically is Solo, but credited. I think the last thing they did was 22 Jump Street. Yeah,
that's insane. They've been working on a lot of stuff though, which is really cool. Like this is one of the things that's been coming out. Mitchell's vs. Machines. I liked it. This is one of those movies because of the creators and all the people behind it. I had a lot of like high expectations. So this was one of those movies where I went in expecting a little bit more than I got. That's just because I compared it to Into the Spider-Verse, which is already it's hard to live up to that but this is like the Sony's animation big follow-up. So
well, the same kind of animation, the same kind of style,
it's the same team that they used, essentially, like most of the same team that they used. The directors though are interesting because there's both first-time directors, animated directors, which is cool.
Yeah, the cast is crazy too. We have Dan McBride as the dad. We have Abbi Jacobson as the daughter.
The director, Michael Rianda plays the little brother. At first, I was like, "Is that Will Forte?"
But I thought the same thing.
I was thinking of the Willoughbys, which I ended up comparing it to later on. Oh, the Willoughbys, which is also a Netflix movie, animated movie. But
yeah,
I just found myself.
I can totally see those comparisons.
I think it's just because it's an adult man playing as a little boy. It's kind of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved this movie though. I didn't love it. I liked it a lot. I felt it drag on a couple, like once or twice. I kind of realized how long it was after. It's an hour and 59 minutes or something, which is pretty long for an animated film. And when I was watching it, it was one of those things where I was like, what do other animated movies look like? I can't really remember.
Right? Yeah, no. I loved it. I absolutely loved this movie. I mean, like, of course it wasn't as good as Spider-Verse, and I didn't really like. I kind of threw away that thought like halfway through the opening scene of the movie, because there's a long opening sequence here, and like halfway through that I was just like, okay, it's different, but it is like the same, but it's definitely not nearly as good as Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. There's just so much of that movie that is just legitimately so unique and amazing all at the same time. But I think
there's things that were
Mitchell vs. Machines still lived up though. It's still a solid second movie in this like animated style that Sony Pictures is doing. Yeah, and I'm not a fan of Sony anymore, but their animated movies, man, if they keep doing stuff like this, I think they'll be good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like there's Sony animated films I always kind of liked. Open Season.
Oh yeah, open season. Yeah.
Good. Open Season, Surfs Up, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Yeah, The Smurfs, Hotel Transylvania. Well, I like Hotel Transylvania, Cloudy with a Chance
I
of
was just
Meatballs,
gonna
Surfs Up,
say,
and Open Season. So those are the better ones actually. So I
I
do like
remember I
Sony.
actually just I forgot why I rewatched open season recently. Maybe it was just on Netflix and I just couldn't sleep one night.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that one
I
I
liked it.
was like, I remember
I
even
remember
when I was
seeing
a
in
kid, I was like,
theaters.
I didn't really like this one.
I loved it.
But Hotel Transylvania, I really do like.
They're
I really
making
like
another one.
Surfs
They're
Up.
making one more Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, the sequels I wasn't too big of a fan of. Hey, Elijah, you know what? I know something. You said a lot of the Sony Pictures animated movies, but you forgot their magnum opus. You know what that is?
What?
The Emoji Movie.
Oh, that's not on their page. I feel like they intentionally didn't put it on theirs.
I think if they keep doing stuff like this, they keep just trusting Lord and Miller to deliver some
Original
solid
stuff.
material. Yeah, exactly. Because you could say whatever you want about this movie, about how it's kind of cliched, like where it's like the family road trip, girl, the daughter wants to expand, and she's like very unique and borderline ADD.
Mhm.
But it's very unique though. Like there's a lot of stuff in it that I haven't really seen in A, animation, and B, in family movies.
Mhm.
And the way that they talk about technology, because when you watch that first trailer, it totally did like look like, okay, technology is the bad guy, of course.
Mhm.
But this movie doesn't even say that at the end. It's more just about like utilizing your time, and like and
Okay. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
don't like it's just it was interesting, and I
That's
really dug the themes in this
yeah.
very
I
very
like
much more so
I
than I
liked
thought
that
I
a
would.
lot. I just wish there was a bit more like. I feel like it started really quick. Like it was like I feel like I didn't get to realize the world's like I don't know how attached they were to the technology at first, and then they like just were all already were revolting, and I was like, oh, the bad guy's already here and revealed, and that's why when they revealed the villain of Olivia Colman as the phone or pal, I believe
Hmm.
it was not as cool because as like oh who is it because it was like from the get go it was obvious who it was sort of thing, and I feel like
Right.
the bad guys were well I don't know some about the bad guys that I
The
feel like
bad
they
guys
didn't
were
have
definitely revealed pretty
really
quickly,
quick. We were like, oh my gosh.
and they didn't really develop it very much so too, because I feel like the reason why they didn't develop it is because we're all just so
Yeah, it
used to
is. We
technology
kind of
now.
know what
So it's like,
technology is. Yeah, that's true.
which I don't really mind,
Hmm.
because like they just spent all that time to focus on the family dynamics.
Yeah, that
And
is
I
true.
thought that's like the strongest part. Like it's like, especially dude, the voice acting for Dan McBride, I would like shocked me. He was so sweet the
Hmm.
entire time.
Hmm. Every time though I
And I
looked at
haven't
the actual character, I just kept thinking I was gonna hear Nick Offerman's voice for some reason. I was like,
yeah,
this
no, I can
feels
see
like this
that.
could have been. They didn't have to change a single thing, and I feel like it could have been Nick
Yeah.
Offerman and just as good. If well,
That's
not
very
well, I don't know because I don't want to take away from what Dan McBride did. I'm just with the actual physical character. I was like, it kind of looks like a voice could be voiced by him.
by Nick Offerman. I'm sure
Yeah.
that he was approached.
Hmm.
Yeah, dude, there were a lot of stuff, and like this like there's a lot of things that made me laugh,
Hmm.
but like not just made me laugh, but I like legitimately started crying at like certain areas
Hmm.
multiple times too.
Yeah,
Like
like
this movie
all the
got
home
me
movie stuff.
like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, dude, that was the first tear drop right there.
Like
The
they
home
do that a
movie when
couple
he's
of
like
times.
watching that.
Every single time they brought it back too.
Yeah,
Like they used the whole movies a couple times. Every time they use it, it's so good. It's so
yeah.
good the way they use it.
No, it definitely hits on a different level. Yeah, no, I really dug it. I really like this movie a lot. And like I just hope that Sony Pictures just keeps like taking risks like this.
Mhm.
Because even though like
It's not. I don't even
Spider-Verse
think
was a
it's a
weird,
risk. I think they're doing something
no.
really good. Of like they're like letting the artist and the directors be like, here are your like 10 seconds of frames. Go wild. And then I feel like they just
Hmm.
did because sometimes there's such bizarre things in it that it's just like that was awesome. Like I don't know if some of like the comedy of this upcoming generation is going to be so weird with internet and stuff, and it shows. And that's what another thing about this was. I was like, I'm so freaked
Yeah,
out.
dude.
People who are going to become parents right now during this generation of like having to be raised on like iPads and stuff. And it's like, luckily we were
Mm,
in that generation where we could kind of decide which direction we were going to go, of whether we were going to stick to like notepads or iPads. But like now
mhm,
all the generation below us is going to be like all technology. It's kind of crazy.
mm.
I
Yeah,
think it's
no,
happening
I
right now.
see. I see what you mean there. And this movie definitely talks about that, but it doesn't talk about like it doesn't really talk down you, you know, like how it talks about technology.
Mhm.
Because the easy part,
Yeah.
the easy
Maybe
route would
that's what
have
I was
been,
expecting from the beginning,
uh-huh.
and they
That's
just
what I was
didn't do that.
expecting too.
Maybe that's a good
Hmm.
point. That's what I was expecting, them talking down to us about how we use technology. That's what I was expecting as a setup. Actually, in retrospect, it's good that they didn't do that, because now I'm seeing how you're describing that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad they didn't
Yeah.
do that actually.
Yeah, because it's just they instead went the route that like it's just how you choose to live your life. Like there's always gonna be technology, but there's also always going to be these practical things in life too, and these people in your life like family and friends and shit like that.
Hmm.
And it just depends on how you treat it. One of the funniest things in this movie, the thing that made me laugh so fucking hard, because I know for a fact it would happen in real life, is when the pal character turns off the Wi-Fi and people start flipping shit, and
Oh
then those
yeah.
boxes just come down, they just say free Wi-Fi, and they all just start piling into
Oh
it,
yeah. That's
and
a
then they're
little more. They
explain,
just take. Yeah.
yeah, and then she's explaining like, oh, like you guys are gonna live here all eternity. And they're like, oh my god, my butt's gonna have free Wi-Fi. Like, oh, okay, that's not too bad though. Yeah, I thought that should correct me up, because I was like, yeah, that seems like a huge possibility right there, of how people react to no Wi-Fi. But no, there was a lot of stuff in this that I really that I reacted to very well. I was with you though, like towards the end, it did feel like when uh they're like in the ship thing, not really spoilers, I'm going to try to be vague with it, but when
Mhm.
they're in this ship and there's all the movie already has like this momentum going, and then it just kind of stops for an emotional moment. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
At the ship part.
When they're like driving and then something happens where something's revealed, and then emotionally
Oh,
they
I
kind
think
of break
so. Yeah,
apart.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's when I was like, this feels like a little too late to do this. Like
Hmm.
we're
Hmm.
so close, but I know
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why they did it. But
It was like
because
at
then
the
I looked at
peak
the time
point.
and I was
Yeah.
like, damn, there's like 45 minutes left after
Yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah. It felt like it was supposed to be at the peak, and then you're like, oh no, okay, there's another part where everyone has to learn their own thing, kind of, which is cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
it did. It felt out of yeah, it kind of slowed it down. I like that there was a Dawn of the Dead reference though when they show up at the mall. They're like, "Hey,
Yeah,
it's like
man.
Dawn of the Dead, one of my favorite movies," she says, and I'm like, "Oh, give us the
Dude.
Snyder cut of this movie." What?
You know, she was I love her character, and I
Mhm.
loved all the references,
Oh
and
yeah.
I loved her little movies because she makes these weird ass little movies.
The
The
YouTube
only thing
details
is
of
like,
everything, like that whole beginning montage of everything that she posts and stuff, the YouTube detail that they have of the social
uh-huh.
media posts she has, I think they did that spot on. Like I
Oh
hated when
yeah.
they can't do that stuff, but they obviously they're gonna focus on the exact detail of that stuff. I love that about this.
It
That's
reminded me so much of the videos that she was doing. Remind me of Vine so much.
yeah, the
Like,
comedy was so bizarre. Like I don't know
yeah.
if that. Do you think that real monkey is the screaming monkey that He's like, my dad reminds me of this monkey.
Oh,
It comes up multiple times. Is that a real monkey that went viral
yeah.
at one point?
Yeah. I'm
Because that
pretty
was
sure.
I was so weird. It could have not been, and I would believe that it would. It was that's that. It's there's so much of that humor where it's like I don't know if that's a real reference. If it is, like it seems super
Weird.
internet. It's a very internet
Yeah,
generation
no, dude, no,
shit,
it's
obviously,
this is
but it's
definitely
good. It's
very
a good movie.
technology. Yeah, this is very tech driven in the way that's like what you're saying, where all the jokes
It's
are
highly aware
like
of itself.
memes
Not
and
it's not it wasn't written by like people who still write on typewriters, you know. It's like written by
yeah.
people who like know what's going on with it with technology. It's pretty wild. Eric Andre was funny.
Yeah, no,
His
that's the thing
character.
though, is like you just said it, like you can tell when you're watching this, it's a movie about technology, and you can tell while you're watching it that's by people who get their audience, who know who's going to watch this, and how they can be so universal with it too. It's awesome, and you can tell that they're very in touch with themselves, uh, with technology
Hmm.
and with the internet and stuff, where that humor does work in a way where it's like they're making it more accessible than if you're watching something on TikTok, like if you're doing one of those TikTok binges for like 45 hours,
Yeah.
and you're like finally just like, okay, I'm sick of this dance, I'm sick of this little trend, I'm sick of these people doing this. This movie just knew how to take all of that stuff and actually make it entertaining and funny, and not feel like, oh man, this was written by some 80-year-old executive. Like, oh, we need to watch something that my daughter's gonna love from the guys who brought you the Emoji Movie.
What would you give Mitchells and Machines then out of 5?
I would give it a high 4.5. Like I really
Nice.
enjoyed
It
this,
is
and the
good.
dog too. The dog is great. The dog
The
is
dog was
so
played
fucking
by
funny.
the dog's played by Doug the Pug.
A real pug, right?
Doug the Pug.
Yeah,
I
Doug the
believe it's
pug.
an
Yep,
Instagram
yep.
pug.
You know, it was pretty much
Yeah.
every single thing with the dog, everything with the dog and the little brother. Like I absolutely loved, and that's usually shit in these kind of movies. I'm like, oh my god, they're going way too hard with the cutesy shit. But this movie did it perfectly. They're just like fucking funny.
It was relatable
Every
too.
single
I would
thing that
give
they
this
did, it's
movie
very
like a
relatable.
4, probably. I would give it a 4. Maybe 4. I would give it a 4 because it's so good. That's really good. The part that made me like love the little brother right away was when they introduced him as a kid who's obsessed with dinosaurs. That's how I felt when I was younger about
Oh, yeah, he's calling everybody in the phone book.
yeah. Do you want to talk about dinosaurs? Okay. I felt like that when I learned about sea turtles, and I was like, "Did you know sea turtles can hold their breath for like 8 hours?" And I like kept telling everyone I knew about that fact. Just that, and I only shared that one fact too. I wasn't even like I didn't carry out this knowledge. I just liked that one fact.
That one, that's all
Yeah.
you knew about sea turtles.
Yeah, and it was like I was obsessed with sea turtles, and that's how I felt with his obsession with dinosaurs as a whole. I was like, that's hilarious.
But yeah, no, I loved it. I thought it was a
4.5 and 4. Those are good ratings.
4.5 and 4. Yeah, that's a pretty positive right
But
there.
that movie is good. So you gave it a
Whoa,
4.
man.
4.5.
Yes,
I
I
gave it a
did.
4.
No, I gave it 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. I 4. I liked it. So let us know what you guys think of Mitchell's vs. Machines. It's on Netflix. Tweet at Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Tell them it's good stuff because they read their stuff wherever you
Release
get on social
the
media.
solo cut.
Release the solo cut. And yeah, check out our full episodes of the podcast every Tuesday. Thanks for coming to the YouTube exclusive stuff. All right. Bye guys.
Bye.